Hey guys, this is my own daily practice, and I thought that I would just film it while I did it and share it with you. So, start in your comfortable seated position. That could be on a block or a rolled up yoga blanket. Just be very upright on your sit bones. Make sure your spine is comfortable and your hips aren't working too hard. We'll be here for several moments. And just take a second to come into your body and to come into your breath. If you've had a hectic day, notice that your breath is more shallow. And instead of judging, just notice, and we'll fall into a rhythm with the breath soon enough. Take a breath in through your nose and out through your nose. You can constrict the back of your throat for the Ujjayi breathing. Begin to take a short pause at the top of the inhale. And pause at the bottom of your exhale. Deep breath in. Pause. Slow exhale. Several more rounds of breath at your own pace. Feel your rib cage lift up away from your pelvis. Feel your skull lift away from your shoulders. Soften your jaw, soften your neck. Let's add some movement to that breath. Inhale your arms up. And exhale, reaching out. Inhale up. This time drop one arm. Add a side bend. Back up to the top and change sides. Root down through your sit bones, lift through your waist. Rise up. This time bow forward, walk your fingertips forward. Sit your hips back. Maybe your forehead touches the mat at this point, maybe not. Come forward into table. Spread your fingers, gripping the floor with your hands. Arch your back, drop your belly. Here's your cow position. Round into cat. Sync the breath with the movement. Inhale to arch. And exhale, round. Twice more. Find table. Tuck your toes. You can use blocks under your hands for our first down dog if you like. Lift your knees to a hover. Sit your hips back. This first down dog is short, feet are wide. Knees are bent. Focus is on lengthening the spine. Inhales and exhales through your nose. Take time to pedal out your feet. You can stretch the tops of your feet. You can just find stillness if that's the day you're having. Take little steps, walk your feet to your wrists. Feet are wider than hip distance. Ragdoll, fold your torso over your thighs. Give your head a shake. Release some tension. Can sway side to side on your mat. Let the arms hang as you roll yourself up to standing. And bring your feet right under your hips, mountain pose. Sun salutation A. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, hands on your shins or blocks. Exhale, fold it over. Step back into plank. Spread your fingers, distribute your weight evenly across all 10 fingers. Tailbone is pointed towards your feet. Tap your knees down. Shift forward slightly so shoulders are more over your fingertips. Elbows point back to your hips. Baby bend at the elbows, that's your chaturanga. And elbows straighten. Let's do 3 more. Make sure the tail stays tucked. No arch in the back. Here's 2. On 1, hold your position. Head stays in line with the spine. Upward facing dog. Keep your knees down for the first one. Lift your abdominals. It's a back bend, but the belly is lifted. Tuck your toes. Press it back. Downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Roll your shoulders away from your ears, armpits towards the floor. Release your neck. Step or hop your feet to your hands. Ragdoll. Bend your knees. Rise up with a flat back. This is our reverse swan dive. We pass through our chair to come up to standing and bring the hands to heart center. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into your plank. Knees can be down or up. Chaturanga, upward facing. Use the strength of your abdominal muscles to pull you back into your downward facing dog. Just one breath here. Step your feet to your hands. Fold it over. Reverse swan dive all the way up. And hands to heart center. One more sun A. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Belly is pulling up and in. Exhale takes you all the way back into your plank. Bend your elbows. Upward facing. If you're ready, you can lift your knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. One big inhale. Exhale it out. Step your feet to your hands. Fold it over. Reverse swan dive up. And hands to heart center. I'm going to have my blocks at the front of my mat. Sun salutation B, inhale up. Exhale, chair. Weight is in your heels, but allow the knees to come forward so that your force goes more downward than at an angle with your spine. Soften your shoulders. Challenge your legs. Root down, rise through the torso. Stay for your inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. You can take your chaturanga flow or just meet right back into down dog. I've got my hands on my blocks to give me some extra height here. Pull your right knee to your nose and step your foot through. Turn your back foot at a 45-degree angle. My stance is wide and short. This is warrior one. Rise it up. And settle in. We want the hips to be as squared forward as possible, so draw the right hip back. And I suggest hinging forward a little on the first one. Let your breath guide your effort. Root down through the back arch and lift through the arms. Big inhale. Exhale, hands to blocks. Straighten your front knee. This is pyramid. Your hands can stay on your blocks if it helps you to lengthen your spine. If you're comfortable, hands to the floor, drop your head, fold it over. Hands to blocks. Turn your back foot into a lunge position. This is our high lunge. Our stance is still wide enough to have good balance. The back thigh is reaching up towards the ceiling. Left hand down, reach your right arm up, take your twist. You'll squeeze your inner thighs together. This keeps the twist more at the thoracic spine, where we want it, and not the low back. Plant your hands, step it back. Take your flow. Modify or skip anytime you need. Downward facing dog. Let down dog be a rest position for you. The weight is back in the legs. Pull that left knee in, step it through. Back foot out of 45. This is our warrior one. Soften your shoulders. If you can find more bend in the front knee and still root down through the back arch, that's where we want to be. Inhale. Exhale, hands to blocks. Straighten your front knee. This is pyramid. Back foot is still at a 45. Fold it over, and of course, keep a bend in your front knee if you need. Allow your head to drop. Hands to blocks, spin the back foot, find your high lunge. Open twist. Left hand lifts. You can look up at your hand, top hand, or down at the bottom hand, wherever your neck is more comfortable. Hands to blocks, step it back. I modify my flow. I'm taking out the upward facing dog. Meet in downward facing. Two deep breaths here, settle in. Shoulders are externally rotated, fingers are spread. Step your feet to your hands. Feet are a little wider than hip distance. Remove your blocks. Fold over into ragdoll. Tuck your peace fingers underneath your big toe. Bend your knees a generous amount to lengthen your spine. Now use those arms to pull the top of your body over your lower body. Release your hands. Rise up with a flat back. And hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. Taking your vinyasa flow. Downward facing. Grip the floor with your hands. Walk your feet together. Keep the knees nice and bent. Your weight is back into your legs. Lift your right leg, three-legged dog. Toes are facing downward. Like someone is standing on the back of your right thigh, lifted up towards the ceiling. Bend your top knee, open your hips. Keep your shoulders square to the floor as you reach your knee up towards the sky. Square your hips, extend your leg, three-legged dog. Shift forward into plank and pull your knee to your nose. Round your back. Shift it back, three-legged dog. This time, come forward into plank. Pull your knee towards your right shoulder. A little core work, and shift it back, three-legged dog. Pull your knee to your nose. This time, take your knee across to the opposite elbow. Extend your leg. Open up, side plank. Plant your hands. Find plank. Downward facing dog. Building some core strength and some arm strength. Anytime you need child's pose, it's there for you. Walk your feet together. Lift your left leg, three-legged dog. My standing leg has a good bend to it. But my top leg, your heel is reaching back. Bend the top knee, open your hips. Square your hips, extend your leg. Knee to nose, round your spine. Even pull your foot away from the ground. Take it back, three-legged dog. Take it across, knee to shoulder. Three-legged dog. Take it across, knee to opposite elbow. Extend your leg, side angle. Root down through the supporting hand. Spread your fingers. Rather than sinking into the joint, use your muscle to lift. Reach, reach, reach through that top hand. Transition this into plank. Here's a challenge, chaturanga, upward facing, and downward facing dog. Three deep breaths. Step or hop feet to hands. Fold it over. Hang in your ragdoll. We'll reverse swan dive it all the way up. Hands to heart center. Take a moment to reconnect to your breath. Notice where is your weight on your feet. Let the mind get calm. Reach both arms out to the sides. Eagle arms. Bring your right arm underneath the left arm. Any grip is good. Soften your knees. So our right arm is under. We'll lift the right leg and stack it over. And you can come into your full eagle, wrapping the foot. I'm going to use my foot like a kickstand. And that helps me get my spine tall as if I'm against a wall. Elbows lift, shoulders relax. Deep breaths. Squeeze your legs together. Keep the eagle arms. Rise up and lift your right knee. Transition into warrior three. This is a balance challenge. You can release the arms into airplane arms. Warrior three does not have to be all the way to the floor. We do want the hips square and the back foot flexed. Stay for your inhale. Stay for your exhale. Bring your hands all the way to the mat, standing split. We still want the hips square. It does not matter how high you get the back leg. Let your head drop, fold over your thigh. And bring your foot down. We're transitioning into Malasana squat. So grab one of your blocks if you need this. You're going to set that underneath your seat. And I actually like to elevate my heels on my blanket. You do not have to do that. Turn your toes out at a 45-degree angle and have a seat. And adjust the width of your feet as you need. Bring your hands to prayer. Press your elbows against your thighs. And keep that spine nice and tall. Take one more deep breath in your Malasana. Remove your block. Turn your toes forward. Ragdoll. Reverse swan dive all the way to the top. And hands to heart center. Walk your feet under your hips if they're not already. Eagle other side, extend your arms. Left arm underneath the right. Left leg on top. Every step, come back to your breathing. If the breathing gets shallow or choppy, find a way to back off to make it a little easier for yourself, more ease with our effort. Keep the arms, lift your left knee. Release your arms into a low airplane, take it back, warrior three. A modification is to keep your toes on the mat as you find your balance, and then lift. Square off the hips. It is a challenge. Breathe. Create length between the top of your head and your heel. Stay for your inhale. Stay for your exhale. Hands to the mat, standing split. In a perfect world, the back leg did not change. Keep a bend in the standing knee as much as you need and fold your chest over your thigh. Return both feet to the mat, fold it over, ragdoll. You can grab your elbows, sway around your mat. Plant your hands on the mat. Step back into plank. Lower your knees. Wide knees, feet together. Sit back in your child's pose. Come up into table. We're moving into pigeon. I'm going to use my blanket as a prop underneath my seat. You can always use a block or no props at all. Bring your right knee to the outside of your right wrist. Straighten your back leg. Before you come straight down to the floor, work this back bend just for a moment. And start to make your way into a more relaxed position, more yin, more passive. I'm tight in my hips. It's hard for me to come down to the floor, so I'm going to use the block underneath my forehead as a prop. Let your body surrender into the floor. Take just one or two more breaths here. And let's slowly make our way to the other side. I'll meet you back on all fours. If you need any movement through the back leg, if you need to take a down dog here, you do you. Left knee towards the left wrist. This foot, the further forward you bring it, the more stretch you'll get, but respect the knee and respect that everyone's hips are a little bit different. Do try to square your hips to the floor. That's the purpose of using a prop. Work the back bend. You might get a nice deep stretch in the front of this hip. And begin to make your way into that passive pigeon. When the mind wanders, come back to the breath. And take just 1 or 2 more breaths. Begin to make your way out of this position and come to seated on your mat. Move your props out of the way if you need. And make your way onto your back. We're doing reclined butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees are open. If your hips are tight, you can place the blocks underneath your upper thighs or knees. It's always a good modification. It's very relaxing. Open your arms, turn your palms up. Use your hands to close your legs and totally remove your props and water bottle out of the way. Hug your knees tightly to your chest. You can add a little rock side to side. Place your feet on the mat and just move your hips just a little over to the left. Hug your knees in again. Bring your arms wide, palms down, and come into a twist, pulling your knees towards your right elbow. You should feel your twist in your thoracic spine, mid to upper, not your lower back. And slowly come out of this one, plant your feet, bump your hips just slightly over to the right. Pull your knees in, and the knees aim towards your left elbow. Make your way out of the twist. Pull your knees in. Grab the soles of your feet. Here's our happy baby. Can rock side to side. Lower back massage. And start to make your way into your final resting position, your Shavasana. Your feet towards the corners of the mat, palms facing up. We'll be here for the next few minutes. And your job is not to control your thoughts. Your job here is only to notice your thoughts, to recognize that you're thinking, and then let the thought go. That's the practice of meditation. You can stay here in Shavasana for as long as you need. Otherwise, return your awareness to your surroundings. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll over onto your favorite side, moving through fetal position. Press yourself up to seated. It was an honor and a pleasure to practice with you today. Namaste.